Hello viewers, welcome once again to my channel. For my students, I'll be following my series. I believe it has been helpful. Like I told you, the videos are intentional just to make you pass your common entrance or any level of exam at ease. And I encourage you not to jump a series. Start from series 1, 2, 3, and today we're cooking up series 4 for you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. The topic still, or the objective is just the best approach just for us to answer our common entrance series 4. And then we have them in 3 stages. So let's focus on simple stages first, comprised of 5 questions. Number 1, we are to add the sum together, and then 4 over 1000. So you move back 3 times 1, 2, then 3. So you fill up this cap with a 0, a decimal point, and another 0. So meaning what you have here is 0.004. When you're arranging, then make sure the unit is on a straight line. This is over 10. So you move 1, 2. Fill it up with 0, close it up with a decimal point, and back it up with 0. So you have 0.03. Here you have 1 0. So you move back just once. And this is a decimal point. Close it up with 0, so you have 0.7, and when you add up, you have 437.0. So the answer is 0.734, and the answer among the option is B rather. Moving on to question 2, we have more than one sign, so what you should always remember is board mass. Bracket comes first, there is no bracket. Off, there is no off. Division, there's division, and that's the one you carry out first. So you repeat 27, then 9 divided by 3, you have 3, plus 3 times 4. Now, if you check, there is multiplication, so you repeat the rest of them. You don't change the position, just go on with what you need to do first, which is multiplication. 3 times 4, you have what? 12. Then, now you have addition and subtraction. So when you have such, you rearrange. When you rearrange, addition comes first. You only rearrange when you have addition and subtraction. And when you rearrange, don't forget addition comes first. So this is addition, this is addition, this is the only subtraction. So you have 27 plus 12 minus 3, and 7 plus 2, that's 9, 2 plus 1, that's 3, minus 3, and that will give you 36. And your answer among the option is option D. Moving on to question 3. This is a simple algebra. You have 6x minus 2 equal to 3x plus 16. I always tell my students, like, see the letters you're looking for as COVID-19 patients, so move them to one side, then every other number run away from the COVID-19 patient. So this is 6x, this is 3x, so you can move 3x to this side, and immediately this -2 will run away. So notice any sign that crosses this equal sign will change. So there's invisible plus here, so crossing over, it will change to a -3x, equal to, you have 16 on this right hand side, the -2 is coming over, -2 will turn to +2, and 6x minus 3x is like 6 minus 3, which is 3, then add your x, 3x equal to, you have 18, then divide both sides by the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x here is 3. So 3 cancel 3, and you have x equal to 6. So the answer among the option is option A. Moving on to question 4. If the 23rd boy in a row is in the middle, 23rd boy in a row is in the middle. So the best way to go about it, if it's in the middle, then people before this 24 will be 22 boys. Since it's the 23rd, is in the 23rd position, then people after, the boys after him will be another 22 boys. Then he is just one person. So add it together, meaning 22 plus 1 plus 22. And that will give you 22 plus 1, 23 plus 22. That will give you 45. And the answer is option A. Moving on to question 5. A debt of 326 naira 50 kobo is to be paid in equal installments. Installment means you borrow or they gave you a loan of this amount and you're meant to be paying back with this amount 65 naira 30 kobo. So how many times will you pay 65 naira 30 kobo? It's as good as how many 2 are in 10. If you know there are 5 2s in 10, how did you get that 5? 10 divided by 2. Same thing we're going to do here. What's your debt, which is 326 naira 50 kobo, divided by what you intend to be paying back anytime as agreed, the installment. So here I will advise you change it to kobo by multiplying by 100, and when you multiply by 100 it's just to move the decimal point forward twice, and that will give you 32650 kobo over 6530 kobo. So kobo cancel kobo, and then 0 cancel 0. And then looking at this number, I will advise you just check the last digit, which is 3, and then 3 times what will give you a number that ends with 5. 3 times 5 obviously, so let's try 5. 6 5 3 times 5, you have about 15, carry 1. 5 times 5, you have about 25 plus 1, 26, carry 2. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 2, 32. And that gave us exactly what we have at the top. So 653 is 653, that's 1. 653 in 3,265 will give you 5 times. So the answer is what? B. Moving on to the second stage, which is medium stage. A third part of the number. A third part means 1 over 3. As Z, which is as more, 1/3 is more than 1/4. A fourth means 1 over 4 by 13. So this is just the equation. Then simplify what you have on the left hand side, which LCM will give you 12. 12 divided by 3, that will give you 4. 4 times 1, that's still 4. 12 divided by 4, that's 3 times 1, you have 3. And that will give you 13. So 4 minus 3, you have 1 out of 12 equal to 13. Now the question says, what is the number? So we are looking for the original, and in fraction you can let it be 1 whole. So 1 whole, which is the original, we are looking for the number, will always be more than the 1 over 12. So that's more over less. And the more in this operation is 1 divided by the less, which is 1 over 12. Then you multiply by 13. So you do your KCF. KCF, K means keep 1, C means you change the sign to multiplication, F means you flip, that's 12 over 1 times what? 13. So you just multiply your 12 times 13. And that will give you, this is 6, this is 2, 3, 1. And you have 6, 5, 1. And that is 156. And the answer is what? C. Moving on to question 7. What is the smallest number that must be taken from 7,867 to make it exactly divisible by 11? So what to do with such question is to divide by 11. So divide 7,867 by 11, and here you have 0, because 11 cannot go in 7, but join the two digits together. That's 11 in 78, that's 7 times. You multiply, you have 77, you subtract, you have 1, drop down 6, and it turns to 16. It can go 1, you multiply again, you have 11, you subtract, you have 5, drop down 7, 11 in 57 can go 5 times, multiply, you have 55, and when you subtract, you have 2. So these 2 must be subtracted from 7,867 to make it divisible by what? 11. So our answer in the option is what? A. Moving on to question 8. What is the area of the shaded portion? Shaded portion. Shaded portion. For shaded portion, as long as you cannot tell the name of the shaded portion, because it's just like a passage. So what you do with such, you recall what I said in the earlier video, which is the whole shape minus the unshaded. The unshaded. So the whole shape look like a rectangle, same as the unshaded look like a rectangle. There's 8 here, there's 5 here for the whole shape, and here you have 5, you have 2. Length times breadth, length times breadth. And here you have 8 times 5. Here you have 5 times 2. And that will give you 40. This will give you 10. You subtract, you have 30. Never forget your units. That's a 30 meters square. Look at here, I love this question, and that's why probably I put it under medium. A lot of students will be carried away. Oh, 30, pick the answer, but be sure you're wrong, because it's area, and for area is either meter square, inches square, cm square, anything square that is given as regards the unit. Here is meter, so it's meter square. So our answer is C, 30 meters square. Moving on to question 9. The sum of 3 consecutive number. If the first one is x, which is the first number, the second number will be x plus 1. The third number will be x plus what? 2. These are consecutive numbers. When you add it up, you have 3x, right? And then plus 3. And all of these, we are told that the sum is what? 48. So you move 3 to the other side, and you have 3x equal to 48. Don't forget, any sign that crosses, equal sign will change. So you have 3x equal to 45. Divide both sides by 3. And x will give you 15. So our answer in the option is 15, but we're not going to pick 15 because the question said find the middle number. So this is the middle number. This is the 15. That's the first number. The middle number is what? 15 plus 1, and that will give you 16. So our answer is option C. Moving on to question 10. In how many years will 40 amount to 48? This is the original, the beginning, the starting. That is your principal. And this is what the money amounts to. So this is your amount. So the difference between amount and principal will always give you simple interest. So simple interest is equal to amount minus what? Principal. And that is 48 minus 40. And that will give you 8. So we have a simple interest. And then they said the rate is 2/5% per annum. So the question says in how many years? And don't forget we have our principal earlier as a 40. So we have all the information, and then we can state out what we're looking for, which is time, question mark. And the formula for time is simple interest times 100 over principal times what? Rate. What is simple interest? We have it as 8 times 100 over principal, which is 40, times 2 out of what? 5. You can flip it this way. Denominator are the slave, they are the one moving. So you can move it up. So 8 times times 100 times 5 over 40 times 2. And enjoy yourself in reducing. 0 cancels 0. 4 here 1, 4 here 2. 2 here 1, 2 here 1. So you have 10 times 5, which is 50. So in 50 years, that's when you experience an increment of 8 with this rate. All right, moving on to the last stage, the add stage. The last stage now, the add stage. I call it add, but not really add. It's just the way they arrange the questions. Let's go. For the add stage, question 11. A piece of string of length 22 meter, 2 dm, 50 millimeter is cut into 50 equal lengths. How long is each piece in millimeter? Meaning we're changing everything to millimeter. So let's pick it one at a time. If I pick the first one, which is 22 millimeter, what is important for you there is for you to know that 1 meter is equal to 1000 millimeter. So therefore 22 millimeter will give us 22,000. Just add 3 zeros to it. Then moving on to 2dm. 2dm, another conversion that you need to know is that 1 dm is equal to 100 millimeter. So meaning if I have 2 dm, it is equivalent to multiply by 100, that's 200 millimeter. Then lastly, we have that in millimeter. So just add the 50 millimeter to it. Then the addition of all of these will be in millimeter. That's 0, 5, 2, 2, and 2. So we have 22,250. And I said that this is divided into 50 equal pieces. So you have 2, 2, 2, 5, 0 millimeter into divided by 50. 0 cancels 0. 5 here 1, 5 here is 4, remainder 2. 5 here again is 4, remainder 2. 5 in 25 is 5. So you have 445. B is the answer. Moving on to question 12. Our school begin work at 7:45. 7:45, that's the start time. 7:45 a.m. and closes 6:30 p.m. each day. So what time do the pupils spend in school during each week, which is 1 week, and 1 week I believe is 7 days, but here it was stated clearly that we should use 5 days. So you cancel the 7 days. That's always trap for a lot of students. You have to follow the instruction. So we're using 5 days. So priority is to find the number of hours between those two. And how do we achieve that? This is PM, so we can actually add 12 to this, 12 hours. So if I add 12 hours, this is AM, so you leave this the way it is. AM is left that way. So you check the difference between the start and the time they close. So if you add 12, don't forget this 12 is added to the hour. and that will give you 12 plus 6, that is 18 hours 30 minutes. So I've changed it to 24 hours clock, and then you have 7 hours, which is this, then 45 minutes. 45 minutes. So when you take the difference between 30 minus 45 is not possible. So borrow 1 from here and you're left with 7. The 1 hour you borrow come here as 60, and these two together will give you 90. So what is 90 minus 45? 90 minus 45 will give you 45 minutes. And 7 minus 7, you have 0 hours. And then you have 1. So we have 10 hours 45 minutes for 1 day. For 1 day. This happened in 1 day. So what happened in 5 days is just for us to multiply what we have gotten by 5. And we're good to go. So 5 times 5, 25. Carry 2. 5 times 4. That is 20 plus 2, 22. And 5 times 10, you have 15 hours. This is minutes. But there are multiple of 60 that you can take out from 225. Why am I taking out multiple of 60? Because 60 minutes is 1 hour. And I can take out 3 of that, which is 50 hours to 5 minutes. I can take out triple of 60, that's 180 minutes, and that's equivalent to 3 hours. So you are removing 180 minutes, which is equivalent to 3 hours. So when you take out that here, you have 5, that will give you 4, and when you add this, you have 53. So the answer is 53 hours 45 minutes. 53 hours 45 minutes. After all the stress, and look at it, the answer is just none of the above, because this is 52, 52, 52. I love these questions because students would be forced to pick any of this 52, 45, but don't fall cheaply for their trap. Moving on to question 13. How many poles are needed to a straight road whose length is 3,600 meters if the poles are 12 meters apart? This question can, there's a topic called poles and intervals. So they're asking for the number of poles. And the formula for number of poles is total distance divided by the distance between two poles. Distance between two poles. Then when you're done with that, you add 1 to it if it is a straight line. But this is a straight road, and that's why we are adding 1. If it is closed, then there is no need to add 1. So what we have here is 3,600 meters over 12 meters plus 1. So meter cancel meter, 12 here 1, 12 here 3, in 2 zeros you have 2 zeros. And by the time you add 300 to 1, you have 301. So our answer is A. Moving on to question 14. The sum of the ages of 4 boys is 58. In the first information, which is from here to here, what you can take note from there is that they gave you the sum to be 58 years. They gave you the number to be 4. Noted. The second statement, the average age of 3 of them is 15. Average, they gave you average to be 15, and the number to be what? 3. Immediately you find your sum. Anytime you have your average and number, find your sum immediately. And sum is average times number. So meaning you're multiplying 15 times 3, and that will give you 45. Now the question is, what is the age of the 5th boy? The 5th boy will be the sum of 4 minus sum of what? 3. And that will give you 58 minus 45. which will give you 13 years, and that is C. The last one, a clock loses 3 minutes in every 1 hour, which is for every 1 hour, the clock will slow down by 3 minutes. Loses. Moving on to the next statement. If it is set right on a Saturday midday, Saturday midday, what time will it register at 12 midday on a Monday? So let's go and build it up gradually from Saturday midday to Sunday midday is actually 24 hours. Then to Monday, the same midday, that's another what? 24 hours. But we're going to Monday 12 midnight, so take it one step to the same Monday, but this time around to midnight. From midday to midnight, that is 12 hours, so that's plus 12 hours. So 24, 24, 48, 49, 50. So this is 60 hours. So now let's use our proportion for 60 hours. Let's find out what the drop in the time. So for 60 hours, definitely it will be more. And that is 60 divided by 1 times 3 minutes. So when you multiply this, you have 180 minutes. And 180 minutes is equivalent to 3 hours. So meaning instead of the clock showing 12 midnight, the clock will be showing 12 midnight minus what? 3 hours. And that will give you 9 hours. And that is it, which is 9 p.m. Rather, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Midnight. Take it back 3 steps, that's 9 p.m. And then our options here is option C. I hope it is clear. And this is the end of series 4. The next time, that will be series 5. But please, if you really enjoy my content, do not hesitate to like. It's not a big deal, right? Press the like button, put a comment there that you appreciate my video, and don't forget to subscribe, share with friends, and make sure they subscribe too, so that they can see more of this. Math is easy with Mr. David.